I never imagined I'd reflect on a tale like this, one that reshaped my views on redemption and the quiet strength found in letting go of old wounds. It involved my closest friend David, his former wife Rebecca, and their young daughter Sophia, a narrative that whispered of transformation in the unlikeliest places. If you've ever pondered whether hearts can mend, or if offering grace to those who've hurt us is a risk worth taking, let this unfold slowly, for the revelations it holds might just echo in your own life. David and I had shared a bond forged in our university days in Seattle, where the persistent drizzle seemed to mirror the ups and downs of our early adulthoods. I'd witnessed him captivate Rebecca with his gentle humor and unwavering kindness, stood by as they exchanged vows under a canopy of blooming cherry trees in spring, and held back tears when Sophia arrived, her tiny cries filling their modest home with a joy that felt unbreakable. But I was also there when the cracks appeared 5 years past as Rebecca chose to leave for a man whose wealth promised escapes from the ordinary, far from what David's salary as a high school teacher could offer. The separation tore through them like a winter storm off Puget Sound, cold and relentless. Rebecca pushed for sole custody, but the court recognized David's devotion, granting her only weekend time with Sophia. In those raw months following, David would appear at my door after tucking Sophia in, his shoulders slumped under an invisible weight, the chill of loneliness seeping from him like fog rolling in from the bay. "She didn't just abandon me, Anthony," he'd murmur, his fingers tracing the rim of a coffee mug gone cold, his voice rough as weathered bark. "She walked away from Sophia. How does a mother turn her back on that bond?" Meanwhile, Rebecca immersed herself in a glittering new world with her affluent partner, their high-rise overlooking the city lights, while David juggled extra hours and scrimped on every dime. He relocated them to a cozy but cramped apartment in a quieter neighborhood, where the scent of pine from nearby parks mingled with the aroma of simple home-cooked meals he prepared. Sophia always had her needs met: the warmth of a soft blanket, the crunch of fresh apples in her lunchbox, even as David denied himself small comforts, his hands calloused from late-night lesson planning. Then, 3 years post-divorce, fate shifted like the sudden clearing of Seattle's overcast skies. David's side project, an innovative learning app he'd pieced together in the dim glow of his laptop after Sophia's bedtime stories, drew the eye of a prominent tech firm based in the bustling tech hubs downtown. They acquired it for an amount that left me breathless, transforming my steadfast, always strapped friend into someone with financial freedom beyond our wildest dreams. Yet David kept it hushed from Rebecca. He upgraded Sophia's school to one with better resources, but maintained their unassuming lifestyle, the same worn couch, the faint smell of coffee grounds in the kitchen. "I want Sophia to grasp what money truly means," he confided over a walk along the waterfront, the salty breeze tugging at our coats. "And frankly, Anthony, I can't predict Rebecca's response if she learns of this." His caution stemmed from experience. Not long after the sale, Rebecca's romance shattered. Her partner had been unfaithful, stripping away the opulence she'd traded her family for. Abruptly, her calls increased, her arrivals for visits punctual, her presence at Sophia's school functions more consistent. One rainy afternoon, as we observed Sophia splashing in puddles in David's small backyard, the earth soft and muddy underfoot, I ventured, "She's making an effort, David. Perhaps growth is possible." He gazed at the gray horizon, his jaw tightening like a cord pulled taut. "It's her money troubles driving this. She seeks stability, not us. Not really." That's when the idea took root in his mind, a test born of lingering hurt and protective instinct. "I must uncover if her change is genuine, Anthony, if it's about Sophia, about rebuilding something real, or merely safeguarding her own security." The plan was straightforward yet fraught with peril. David would feign dire financial straits, claiming job loss and mounting debts, then watch Rebecca's response. Would she vanish once more when no gain shimmered on the horizon, or stand firm beside their daughter? I balked at it, the idea striking me like ice water to the face. This could explode, David. Think of Sophia, the fallout. But he was resolute, his eyes hardening with resolve. Sophia remains unaware. I need truth before allowing Rebecca deeper into our world. The next weekend, as Rebecca arrived to collect Sophia, David embodied distress, stubble shadowing his face, clad in faded jeans and a threadbare shirt. The shadows beneath his eyes deepened by sleepless worry. The air in the room hung, heavy, laced with the faint bitterness of overbrewed tea. "I've been let go," he stated flatly, while Sophia packed her overnight bag in her room, her small footsteps echoing softly. "District cuts. Subbing gigs aren't cutting it. We might need to relocate somewhere more affordable." Though I wasn't present, David recounted it later over the phone, his tone laced with surprise. Her expression shifted. Anthony, not panic for herself, but concern flickering in her eyes as she asked about Sophia. First. In the ensuing weeks, David sustained the facade, mentioning overdue notices that crinkled in his hands like accusations, fretting over selling his reliable old car with its familiar leather scent, worn smooth by years. He scrutinized Rebecca's every nuance, the way her breath caught when he spoke of tightening belts, how her fingers twisted a necklace chain, betraying inner turmoil. What unfolded next compelled me to believe in the possibility of renewal. Rebecca began arriving with bags of groceries, not frivolous treats, but staples like hearty breads whose yeasty aroma filled the kitchen, fresh produce crisp to the touch. She proposed taking Sophia shopping for school outfits, framing it as a mother-daughter adventure, her voice warm like sunlight piercing clouds. When Sophia casually mentioned a field trip fee during a visit, it was covered anonymously before David could broach it. "She's not broadcasting her aid," David admitted to me one evening, his brow furrowed in bewilderment as we sat on his porch, the cool evening air carrying hints of blooming jasmine. "It's subtle, ensuring Sophia's world stays steady." The pivotal moment arrived when David hinted at withdrawing Sophia from her beloved dance lessons, her passion that lit her face like a spark. That night, Rebecca phoned, her words steady yet laced with determination. "Let me cover the classes. This isn't pity. I've missed years of contributing. Think of it as a men's ode." David fell silent. The phone, cool against his ear, but she pressed on. "There's an opening for a teacher at my firm's childcare center. Better pay than before. I could recommend you. No obligations." Later he called me, his voice cracking like dry leaves underfoot. "She's offering this thinking I'm destitute, Anthony. No ulterior motive in sight. Maybe she's truly evolved." I murmured agreement, feeling the weight of his vulnerability settle like a shared burden. The climax unfolded a week on, when Sophia fell ill. With a fierce flu, her small body hot to the touch, forcing David to skip a fabricated interview. Upon learning, Rebecca didn't merely suggest help. She cleared her schedule, arrived with remedies whose medicinal scent cut through the stuffy air, and a pot of homemade soup steaming with comfort. She remained, her hands gentle as she soothed Sophia's fevered brow, until the child's breathing eased into peaceful rhythm. As she prepared to depart, David posed the question burning within him, his heart pounding like distant thunder. "Why all this effort now, Rebecca? Years ago you distanced yourself entirely." Her eyes glistened, tears tracing paths down her cheeks like rain on window panes. "Because I committed the gravest error," she whispered, her voice trembling as if on the edge of breaking. "I chased illusions, prestige, indulgence, thrill. But I discarded what anchored me. Forgiveness isn't what I seek, nor a return to what was. I yearn to be the mother Sophia needs, and perhaps, in time, someone you can regard without resentment." David stood frozen, the door's chill seeping into his palm as she drove off in her unassuming car, its engine humming softly into the night. That evening, he reached out to me, emotion thickening his words. "She's different, Anthony. Profoundly so. Now what?" The following morning, with Sophia back at school, David suggested coffee at a quiet cafe near the waterfront, where the aroma of fresh brews mingled with the tang of sea air. There, he unveiled the truth, the app's success, his hidden prosperity, the orchestrated test. He braced for outrage, her face paling as if blood had drained away, but instead, a laugh escaped her, genuine and rueful, cutting through the tension like a beam of light. "I earned that scrutiny," she said, wiping mirth-born tears, her hand steady now. "Worse even, I forsook our family for superficial gains. You safeguarded Sophia and yourself. I get it." David blinked, confusion etching his features. "No, anger. None. My choices stripped any right to judgment. Protection was your duty." That exchange seeded a fresh chapter, not romance revived, for scars ran too deep, but a partnership rooted in transparency and Sophia's joy. 6 months hence, I observed them at Sophia's dance performance in a local theater, side by side, their smiles radiant as spotlights. Rebecca had settled into a simple apartment nearby, embracing a fulfilling role free from status pursuits. David invested wisely. Family. Outings amid Seattle's emerald parks, a secure future for Sophia, and aid for lone parents navigating similar storms. The one who once fled for fortune now extended aid in perceived scarcity. The wounded soul discovered forgiveness's balm. Their child flourished, enveloped in love from parents who'd traversed pain to cherish essentials. This account doesn't endorse deceit or trials in bonds. Such paths often lead astray. Yet it affirms surprises in humanity, lessons etched by hardship and change. Blooming when hope dims. In the quiet aftermath, hearts find rhythm anew, proving that even shattered pieces can reform into something enduringly beautiful.